Well, hello, I'm glad you could join me here. We're going to take just a few minutes, talk about the international business and lifestyle strategies of the PT. And surely you're aware of what a PT is, but just in case that's a new term for you, it could mean a lot of things. Private traveler, permanent tourist, previous taxpayer, prepared thoroughly, perpetual traveler. So there's a lot of very interesting and liberating terms that gets associated with. And that's the whole point of what we're going to talk about is how we can liberate ourselves from the rut that we might be in, from being stuck in a single location and incurring all of the risks that come along with having all of our eggs in one basket. Okay? So this is being brought to you, being made available by the Lighthouse Law Club, and we'll give you a website at the end of the presentation. So let's take control of our lives. Let's establish ourselves in our domain, which is the entire globe, with opportunities around the world, and see what the lifestyle of a PT is all about real quickly. You can become an international citizen right in your own backyard. Did you know that? You don't have to travel a lot. You don't have to traipse around the world if you don't want to. I know a lot of people are happy right where they're at, and they don't want to move around a whole lot. On the other hand, the world is full of wonderful opportunities and glorious experiences waiting for us, and those that do like to travel are going to now have a good reason to do so. So whatever your cup of tea is, you can satisfy it, okay? You can do things right out of your own backyard. But an international citizen, first of all, is going to enjoy lower taxes. You're going to benefit from increased privacy. You're going to be treated as a privileged guest wherever you go. We talk about being a private traveler and a perpetual tourist so that no matter where you are, you appear as though you're from somewhere else. Aren't we always treated better as a tourist than we are as a local? I mean, there's countries spend multi-millions of dollars promoting their country, their region, their locale to attract tourists to come in. Come in, stay with us, have a good time. Panama even has special tourist police just to keep people comfortable and happy. Okay, so let's be a guest and be treated as a guest wherever we go, even though maybe we haven't gone anywhere and we're right at home. Okay, so that's how it works. You're going to be able to expand your options, and that's critical these days. Again, we'll talk a little bit about the risks that we're dealing with in this world in just a minute, but those options are going to allow you to have more possibilities in your life. Okay, and when you've got more options, more possibilities to solve problems, to advance in your life, to move things forward, to achieve prosperity, privacy, all the things that are important to us, that just increases our quality of life, doesn't it? It increases our survivability just on a basic level. But it really increases our ability to enjoy life when perhaps others aren't, who don't have those same options and possibilities, right? All right, so let's talk about the five flag concept. You may have heard it before. This is not an original concept. It was originally written about extensively by W.G. Hill in his PT series. And I think he got the idea from Harry Brown. These are two pioneers in the personal privacy and PT lifestyle. So I encourage you to look them up whenever you get a chance. But here's what it breaks down to. You've got 5 jurisdictions where you are going to plant your flags. Okay? The flags are the critical elements in your life. Your citizenship is your passport. All right? Let's just kind of walk through this with a given example. Let's say you're an American citizen. All right? So your citizenship flag is in the USA. Maybe you're living in Canada, in Vancouver, domicile, where you are, where you're living, okay? Your residence would be a third location. This is officially where you reside, all right? So your citizenship flag is planted in the USA. Your living and doing your thing, whatever that is, in Vancouver. That's your domicile, where you take up housekeeping. The residence could be anywhere. Let's say that's in Costa Rica, San Jose, Costa Rica. And so this is what your identification documents will show, that you're from San Jose, Costa Rica. All right? So when you are in your home country where you have your citizenship, you don't show your passport, you show your official residence in Costa Rica. Or you can show something that shows your domicile is in Vancouver. Okay? Just so you're not identifying yourself as a local resident. Okay? Your business, on the other hand, will be registered in a fourth jurisdiction. Let's just say that's Panama. You've got a foundation of private interest set up in Panama, and that foundation does its banking in Austria. The Austria Constitution ensures banking privacy, and so that's not going to change on a legislative whim. And so why do we do this? Okay, let me give you an example. If you've been in business, you know that there are troublemakers out there just looking to cause trouble to someone so that they can get something. I can't tell you how many times I've had freeloaders, troublemakers, fired employees, inspectors, agencies wanting to come in and harass my business for no other reason than just to shake me down. And that's a pain. I don't have to tell you that. All right, now here's the deal. Let's say you've got your business registered in Panama, but you're doing business in other parts of the world, perhaps online even, ideally. They can't harass you because you don't live there. They can't touch your bank account no matter what criminal actions they do, because the bank account is in the fifth jurisdiction. Okay? So here's how this works, all right? I was home in the home country driving a rental car through Oklahoma, and a state trooper wanted to pull me over for going a little too fast. So I pull out my driver's license from Costa Rica, and the papers for the car reflect it's a rental car. So my name's not on anything, and he cannot establish that I am a resident, subject to the local motor vehicle codes. So the best he can do is say, well, next time you're driving through, just slow down a little bit, okay, and have a nice day. All right, that's how it works. People want to harass your business, they can't touch it because you don't live there, your banking's not there. So wherever you are, you appear like you're from somewhere else. And you have secured your life and compartmentalized it in a way that makes it extremely difficult for anybody to cause you problems. So do you see how this gives you more security? And it gives you more options, because now you have a presence in 5 different jurisdictions, and it gives you a good reason for being there, should you ever be confronted with any kind of issues that might require that. All right, so you see how this works. It works. Let me just tell you from personal experience, it works very well. So who do the corporate revenue laws apply to? And of course, I'm talking about the legislative statutes. In your local area where you live, your legislative statutes will apply to residents. We talk about this in great detail in my video workshop, The Private Traveler, which you should see if you haven't already. But the res is a Latin word for the thing. Ident is the root for identify or identified. So a resident is the thing identified. Identified as what, you might ask? Resident is the thing identified as chattel property that is labeled, coded, indexed, inventoried, monetized, fleeced, put up on the bin, and recycled all over again. That's a resident. You do not want to be identified as a resident. The corporate revenue laws apply to local subjects, i.e. residents, receiving commercial benefits. Well, what are commercial benefits? I'm not receiving commercial benefits. Yes, you are. You have a driver's license from your local area. You've exchanged your right to travel for a privilege to drive granted by the state. That is a revocable commercial benefit, and by virtue of the fact that you are a driver, which is involved in transportation, if you research that word by legal definition, you are involved in commerce, which is a regulated activity. All right, that's just one area. If you have a bank account in your name, you're receiving federal benefits. You say, what? Yeah, when you signed the contract at the bank, you're receiving benefits from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation to insure your account, which is bogus to begin with, but nonetheless, you're receiving benefits from a federal entity, and therefore you are a federal subject. You might be receiving Social Security, disability, veterans benefits. You have building permits. These are all benefits granted by some local, state or local jurisdiction, corporate entity. All right? Why do you need a work permit to work on your own house? Why do you need permission to work on your own house? I mean, it's your house. You don't need permission from anybody. But when you go and apply for that building permit, you're subjecting yourself to that jurisdiction and fully subject to it. Okay, so you get the idea there. So anyone doing business in the state or who is resident is subject to the state legislative codes. So then conversely, what happens if you are not identified as a resident or someone doing business in the state? I've had a lot of fun with this one myself, and I'm not going to get into stories here tonight, but I do in more detail in the video workshops. You need to see those at vimeo.com/Mark Emery, and those are there. But you get the idea. Anyone who's a resident doing business in the state is subject to the legislative codes, all right? So i.e. the locals. So you don't want to be a local. You don't want to be identified as a local. You want to be identified as a tourist, someone who's just passing through, okay? So why become a PT, an international free citizen? It's going to give you more freedom, a lot better options, and when you have more options, you've got more flexibility to go right, go left, go forward, stop, start, do what you want, rather than being railroaded into one option, and that's the option that the state gives you, okay? You'll be able to plan better and manage your life better, do better business planning for long-term results, estate planning, tax management, and it's just a whole different landscape that this provides for your entire life. So I think you're starting to get that idea, all right? So just a couple of tools that can be very helpful for a PT. It's not difficult to get a foreign driver's license and supporting documentation. Wouldn't you like to have a driver's license from Costa Rica or Panama or wherever, showing that you're a resident from that place? You don't have to go anywhere and you're a tourist. Get a mailing address to support your official residence. Okay, these things are not hard to get. Establish a foreign-based business structure. There are many options available in many jurisdictions that can be discussed. And you want to have a working foreign office with correspondents or nominees. And again, a lot easier to get than you might think. Okay? Banking can be done online. All right, so again, the example I raised earlier, you're an American living in Vancouver, you've got a private foundation set up in Panama, which does its banking out of Austria, and wherever you are, you appear like you're from somewhere else, and now you've got landing pads, you've got 5 different jurisdictions that you have a reason to be there if you like. Okay? And you've got a reason to go. If you like to travel, go and expand on what you've got set up there. Build on it. If you don't want to travel, you don't need to. You can manage it online. So you got the best of both worlds no matter what situation you're looking for. Okay, so to make it work, It's real simple. Do nothing in your own name. You're going to do everything in the name of a business now. And that's going to help allow you to disappear in plain sight. You can cancel, nullify, and return all of your magazine subscriptions, your memberships, registrations, change the way you receive your mail. And on the memberships, you don't have to just cancel everything, but you simply let it die out in your name or renew it in the business name, okay, or in a business name or in another name. And those are things we get into in more detail in other venues, okay? But it's pretty easy, okay? It doesn't take a whole lot. You need to gain some knowledge of what the alternatives are, get some insights from people who have been there and done that, develop a circle of counselors. They can give you some help and direction in these areas. And it's not difficult, okay? And extremely beneficial. So freedom is yours for the taking. Do you dare? Are you up to it? Only you can answer that question. But there's a whole world of possibility and opportunity that's waiting for you out there if you decide to go and take it. Okay? So to put it all together, the Lighthouse Law Club is geared for that. There's a tremendous amount of experience, know-how, guidance available with options and a lot of different opportunities. Take a look. Go to the website, lighthouselaw.club, and explore a little bit. We'll look forward to having a chat with you about details at a date in the not-so-distant future. And thanks for your interest. Take care.